I wish I could do that at work. I wish someone would start talking to me. I'd just be like, "Nice to see you," and just go walk away. We don't have to do this. We don't need to have this conversation. How was your weekend? Good. Mine was fine. Nice to see you.
PJ, you want to go? You want me to take it over?
No, I go. I go. Unless I'm an idiot. Jeez. That's why we don't do it on Mondays. Totally fried already.
Guys getting processed at CVS.
What's the turnaround time on this? A week? That's not going to work.
It was half his vacation at Disney World, half following a dangerous assassin around the world.
All right, hey guys, welcome in, and thanks for joining us for episode 11 of Whiskey Flix. Today, my brothers and I will be pairing Knob Creek straight bourbon with the movie Airplane. Taylor, whenever you're ready, take it over, man. Talk about some Knob Creek bourbon.
Sure. So, this is definitely the first time I've tried it. I just picked it up this morning. It's not bad. I don't mind this.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, I don't love it. I don't hate it. I feel like we're kind of in a rut here with average bourbons. Probably doing it to ourselves. We've kind of picked a few name brands here that we're probably going to be pretty average. I could pull a little bit out of this. There's like a little bit of fruit to it. There's the obvious ones. There's the oak. There's the vanilla. Not a ton of spice. I don't know. I'm one glass in, and I'll say I didn't mind pouring the second one. I guess is where I'm at with this.
Yeah. What every true distiller wants to hear. It's okay. It's good. I'll pour another glass. Why not? You're absolutely right. It's spot on, and I think the reason why we're going to talk about it going into like beer or something next week. I just wanted to get us out of the rut because I think that I feel like there was a meeting the past 3 weeks of the bourbons that we tried, and they all like said, "We'll put it at $30, keep it all at the same price point, it all tastes the same, it all look the same, it'll all be the same."
Yeah, pretty much.
I just feel like every time I sip it, I'm like, "Wait, didn't we just have this last week? Hold on 1 second." So I think it's time to try to switch it up a little bit. But yeah, for me, just a ton of wood, super dry. Lots of oak in this one. 9 years in the barrel, or they say up to or over 9 years in the barrel. So it just takes on a ton of wood flavor. Like you said, you could pull a little bit here and there, but dry. It's okay. I mean, I'm going to drink, again, the whole bottle. I'll be okay with it. It's not going to offend me in any way, but
no.
Make me be like, "Ooh, you got to try this." So.
Somewhat agree. I actually like this quite a bit. I feel there was a decent amount of spice and overall like lasting flavor to it. Not anything to write home about, but all that is pointless because getting into the bottle is fucking impossible. I feel like they're trying to keep people away. They're like, "Hey, here's spend money, and then we're not going to let you in." Taking off the top and then getting it, it's off. It's a joke. It's on there. It's on there. So, I mean, it's fine, but, I mean, what are we doing? It's not, it's not a 25-year-old scotch. Like, it's, like, just let me drink it. It's fine.
I think we each got the mini bottle. I think we each got a pint bottle as well, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
So the mini bottle, I opened the pint bottle before we got started just to have it ready to go after I finished this guy. The pint bottle was rough. That was hard. That top was on there, right? They screwed it on there with a wrench or something. It was insane.
I pried it open with a spoon. It was the only way I could get it open. I swear to God, I'm sitting here. I was like,
I used my Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, okay. I'm glad someone else used a tool to do it because I was like, how can I not open this?
It's oh man, it is. It's infuriating. It's the dumbest. It's awful. It's awful. Everyone at Knob Creek should die.
I was super excited about the wax too. I was like, "Oh, cool, pull tab." But then, like you guys say, you pull it off. First of all, it stuck to my fingers. I couldn't get my finger undone for a minute, and then there was wax everywhere.
Yeah.
I was like, oh boy. All right, here we go.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good call. It does stick. It's like glue on there, and then just wax everywhere. And look, I don't dust on a regular basis, but I don't want just wax pieces. Like awful.
Yeah.
Awful.
It pulled apart like cheap beef jerky off the top. Is what it initially reminded me of. And then, yeah, spot on. Right after I did that, it was just like, and flakes of wax everywhere. And at least with the maker's mark, sure, it's like they're hand dipping each bottle, or they say they hand dip each bottle. I don't believe that. But at least it doesn't run everywhere. At least you pull the tab and it's done. The wax stays in place. This stuff is just all over. I wax in my whiskey. I'm drinking wax. The sacrifices we make for this, but right.
I mean the airplane bottles, not for nothing, for $7. I mean that's pretty impressive.
I agree. It's nice, but save a few bucks and put it in plastic. Like I don't need a glass airplane bottle for $7.
Agree.
No nip should be. Okay, I shouldn't say no nip shouldn't be $7, but Knob Creek should not be $7.
It should not be $7. That's laughable.
I agree.
That's ridiculous.
They used to give this away at Macy's. You could do the little. Right. And you couldn't afford cologne. You'd be like, yeah, I'll try some. I
have a date later tonight.
Yeah. I got like 3 bottles of cool water.
I agree, though. The bottle and the actual 750 itself isn't a terrible bottle either.
No. Taylor, does the 750 have the raised lettering as well?
I don't believe so. I think, honestly, if I can get this on there, it's the same thing. Like, great. I mean, so do you have, because mine's just parchment with ink.
I don't have raised lettering.
I don't have any sort of raised lettering.
No. Okay.
No, and I believe the 750 because I looked at it because the first store I went to only had 750s. Okay. I was just gonna buy the 750. I was like, number one, I don't need it volume wise, and number two, I was trying to save a few bucks. So, I was like, no, let me just go to another store. It's right down the road anyway. So, from what I could gather, the bottles are exactly the same from pint to 750.
Got it.
No nip should be $7 unless it's again like a 25-year-old Scotch, which they would never put in nip. It's
funny you say that. So I've gotten Johnny Walker Blue in nip form.
Oh,
and
actually,
they come in those funny little boxes. They're actually pretty cool if you get as like a novelty thing. It's pretty cool.
I've seen that, and it was cool.
Yeah, $19.99, which seems fair. You do that math, and that's way closer to what a bottle would cost compared to if you do the math on the Knob Creek. It's just like that doesn't add up at all. Pretty sure I'm supposed to get 2 nips for this price.
I honestly think it's a typo. It just got out. They're like $7, and they're like, is it $3? $3? No, $7.
When I ordered them online, mine was $6.99, and there was a line underneath the original price. So that's not even the original price.
Really?
Same here. I think it was, what was it like? I think mine was like $3 off. It was like $9.99. It was insane.
It's crazy.
That's a Kohl's discount right there. That's a Kohl's discount right there.
All right, let's get into the review. PJ, you go first.
All right, so the review is it is a the softest of soft 2s. I want to give it a 1 because getting into the bottle is it's a joke. It's a joke. And I know that shouldn't matter, like it's not a thing, but it does. And if I have to break out other utensils, equipment to get into an average bottle of bourbon, kill yourself. Like you're doing it wrong. Like you're not. But with that said, it has I like the color. I like the taste. I feel it's pretty good balance of sweetness and spice. And it lasts a while. So I mean, it lets me know I'm drinking a bourbon, like a whiskey. Like it is good. For price point for regular bottles, the $375, $750. I feel it's right there. I wouldn't be upset if it was a little cheaper. Like again, my $375 was $20. If it was 17, 18, maybe gets a better rating. The $750 was $29, whatever. But the freaking airplane bottle, I don't know what they're thinking. It's awful. Price point, terrible. Dumbest thing ever. And you still can't get him into the airplane bottle, which is, what are we doing? What are we doing if you have to, get into an airplane bottle size of liquor? You just want to pop it open and chug it because you're an alcoholic. So, rating, soft 2. I wish I could give it a 1, but I'm not.
Proud of you for abstaining from the 1.
I know. And honestly, I wanted to. I wanted to. What
do you got, Taylor?
Yeah, I'll go next and say, PJ, number 1, we can rate the whiskey any way we want to because it's our podcast. So if the bottle sucks, it doesn't matter where we're pulling the rating from.
That's right. I agree, but I can't. It's a decent enough whiskey not to get a 1.
It's fair. No, you're
right. I can't do it. The bottle is terrible, but whiskey's good enough to get it 2. So
I'll start mine by saying this definitely, like PJ said, it's not a 1-star. It's not the paper cup of whiskeys. However, it is the paper cup of bottles. This is by far the worst bottle we've had to date. But yeah, the whiskey isn't bad. It's really not. It's not great, but it's not bad. So I'm just gonna stick right to where I've been the last 2 weeks and just keep it right there. I'll give it a firm 2. I think that's fair. It's fine. There's not too much to love about it. There's not enough to hate about it for me to go any worse.
Can't argue. I'm going to go with 2 as well. Just a lot of wood for me, like I said. Too much almost. Very dry. Finish is okay. It's not the worst whiskey. It's not the best whiskey. It's good enough to drink for sure. It's not going to be my go-to every day. But, yeah, I mean, I'm gonna drink what I have and enjoy it probably, but it's just not wow, knock your socks off. So
I feel like we've gotten away from that with especially the last few weeks, but I feel like when we first started, we had so many, not crazy heavy hitter good whiskeys, but I feel like we were drinking more that we would be more inclined to drink on a regular basis.
Yeah.
The last 3 weeks, I think it's safe to say I'm not in any hurry to rush back to any of the last 3 we've tried.
I can agree with that. And I think also, I got to do my research, but I'm pretty sure that the last 3 have been Beam Suntory. I think they've been the same company. So, I mean, I don't know how much that plays into it, but I'm sure it has something to do with it.
Right.
Because they've all kind of tasted very, very similar.
Yeah.
They all haven't been wow, they've been good enough to earn that $30, but nothing crazy. What? Do we remember what Noble Oak came in at?
Price-wise?
Yeah.
For me, I think, if I remember correctly, it was $35, which is
$29.99.
$5 more. Oh, Taylor got it for cheap. That's right. And I think I did too, P. I think you paid a shit ton for that one.
Yeah.
So
but again, it was the cheapest at the time. It was the cheapest one we had bought or whatever. Mm-hmm. And for the quality, again, I'd pay $50 for that. But anyway, sorry, Mike. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that just had so much more going on for the price. I mean, it was the same price, and it's just, that was a wow kind of bourbon. These are good. They're doable, but they're just not amazing. So, anyway, 2 for me for sure.
I'm gonna read your thoughts.
Initial thoughts. This movie doesn't exist if it was made now. This is not a movie.
No way.
If Disney had rights to it, it would be the opening credits and the closing credits, and there'd be no movie. It's
Airplane. The end.
Yeah. They would do the Jaws thing, and then it would be like, credits. And you're like, oh, it's very funny. It somehow holds up 40 years later, which is, I don't know. It's amazing to me that a comedy can do that. What I want to say is, for me, I love that there is a story, like a beginning and end, but basically it's one gag to the next.
Yes.
Which I like movies like that where I can just watch it and laugh and don't have to
think at all.
I guess. I mean, like it exists and it lets me just be there and laugh, and that's nice. It's nice that stuff like that exists. So, initial thoughts. Bravo, Airplane.
Yeah.
What do you got?
I agree with that. I like that it was under an hour and a half. That's pretty great, right? I mean, especially for what the movie is. Like, an hour and a half is the perfect length for it.
Yep.
By the way, I want to get into that later.
Okay.
Just that idea.
Okay. But yeah, it was fun. I mean, like Peter said, it's kind of just one gag after another, so there's always something else to laugh at. But again, like, you could sort of not be paying attention and come back and you'll be right there and laugh at something else. So yeah, I haven't seen this movie in a long time. So it was fun to rewatch it. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I definitely found myself laughing quite a few times. It was a good watch.
I think I'm really a bad movie watcher, because I'll be honest with you guys, this is the first time I've ever watched it the whole way through. I know lines, I've seen little like excerpts, but I never sat down and watched the entire movie. This is the first time I did that, and my initial thought on the movie is, oh wow. Let's get into it.
Tough. This one's tough.
Let's get into the funnies. I mean, can we even talk about this movie? Are we allowed to say one word?
I don't think so.
Not today, no.
I'm not sending you this edit, because besides, like you said, the Jaws in the beginning and the end credits, we're screwed.
Pretty much it. Well, isn't Seattle? There's no police left in Seattle, so if we post this, the liberals are going to be on PJ's doorstep within the hour of posting.
You're not wrong.
So much stuff, man. This thing was crazy. So we brought it up a couple times now. That Jaws thing in the beginning was great.
Yeah, it's fun. It's very funny.
Ridiculous. Perfect intro. It's just like, all right. I loved it.
But yeah, it's like just every minute and a half, right? You're onto a different sketch.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just kind of one-liner after one.
I totally agree, and that's honestly what that's why I love this, and that's why I like movies like this. I mean, for me, there's movie like, for example, like a Zoolander or Super Troopers. Like, to me, are movies like that where they have a plot, like they have a beginning and end, but it's for me, it's just like one ridiculous scene that leads into another that keeps the movie together and moving forward. But I mean, when you see it, like, well, that's just nonsense. Like, you're just like, well done. Like you managed to do something off the wall, and make me laugh, but like still kind of get to the 90-minute mark.
Are you guys surprised that this movie is actually available to be seen right now, especially right now with everything's going on?
Bold timing on Netflix's part.
Right?
Very bold.
Like, spot on. I honestly am shocked it's on Netflix. I can't believe you can just get it. I honestly,
it's just available.
Yeah, you're
Yeah,
right. When I saw it, when you said Netflix, I was like, oh, nice. Didn't think that was a thing. When you said it, I was like, awesome. Oh, wow. So, like, people can see this?
Yeah, I forgot like the minor details, of course, like especially all the questionable stuff. So as I was watching it, I was just like, wow, I was like, this is going to be tough to talk about and not say anything really bad. And on top of that, like, just like making the initial post that we were even talking about this movie, I was like, man, people must be just like, there's got to be like someone out there who's like, oh man, I got to see what they say about this. There's no way they can't slip up somewhere.
It's so funny. The red zone white zone fight was hilarious. I love that fight.
I have that.
Beginning, so
I
good.
love that it goes red zone, white zone. They flip, and then it gets into abortion. He just again, like you, Michael. I've seen it bits and pieces. This is the first time I've sat down and watched it all the way through. So like, just hearing that part, like they start to bicker back and forth. It just gets into it.
We all know what you're talking about. You want me to get an abortion? It's the logical thing to do.
See, that was the first point where Molly said, "What is this?"
That's totally fair.
Yeah, I guess like the security scene was funny, where like the one guy shows up with like the scissors and stuff. They let him go through. They make the guy take off all his prosthetics. That was good.
I like the chest X-ray, by the way. Like when it just pops up.
Yeah, right.
That thing is amazing.
So is that the first scene that would never make it? Like where the pilot is like basically hitting on a kid?
I mean, the first part for me was obviously where the two black guys are talking to one another and they're putting up subtitles. Yeah, they're putting up subtitles.
White people subtitles? Hilarious.
Absolutely hilarious. Those guys, by the way, ad-libbed most of that whole scene.
Really?
Yeah, they couldn't write that. I mean, they just sat there and they were like, just.
I think there was a time. It was later on when they had the older white woman who was the translator. I think there was a time where she was leaving the conversation and she said something. I forgot.
Oh, yeah.
But I feel like there was a time where they both exchanged looks and they were like, I think that was racist. As if that whole little thing wasn't racist. I think it finally got to the point where they were like, all right, even for the 80s, this has gone a little bit too far. A grown man naked.
You ever watch any Gladiator movies? Oh dear God!
Gone to a Turkish bathhouse. It's insane. And that's like after the initial, like the kid comes back and they still just like he throws it out there. It's
when he has the basketball. You ever hang around the gymnasium?
Yeah. His back and forth with Kareem is hilarious as well.
So good.
Really
so
good.
good.
Really good.
Did you guys see that when everybody gets sick on the plane, when Kareem gets sick, he has the full uniform on?
Another note, I'll take that off.
But if you notice when they're dragging him down the aisle, he has his pants back on.
Yeah, no, I saw that.
Oh, I didn't catch that. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't catch that. That's funny.
It's on the phone with the Mayo Clinic.
Yeah. That was great.
Give me ham on one for the mail.
That's it. Okay, you basically
Also really good where when he picks up the red phone and she's still talking to him. No, the white phone.
White phone. I have that too.
I like when he yells to the intercom.
Yeah. Right.
I got it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got it. Okay.
Okay, so Ted and Elaine, or Stryker and Elaine, when he stops her at the airport, not only was it funny where the guy gets in his cab, it's like, hold on, I'll be right back, and he runs back and starts the music, and he runs away. That was really good. And then he catches up to her, and she gives him the whole riot act there, and she's like, I can't be with someone who I can't respect, and he just looks over at the camera. What a pisser.
Yeah, another one. Cross that off.
That was my first laugh out loud of the movie. Was what a pisser. I was just like, that's funny. He's like, I really thought this would be resolved right here. Gonna make me work for it. Got it.
Looks like this movie will be an hour and 10 minutes. All right. How long do we think that guy sat in that cab before he realized he wasn't coming back?
Well, did you guys wait until the end credits?
No.
He's still there. That's how the movie ends.
That's
I didn't see
like,
that.
And he says, "All right, give him another 10 minutes, and I'm leaving."
Oh man, that's awesome.
It's great.
That's fantastic.
When he buys the ticket, this one's super simple, but I still laughed out loud at it. Was the smoking or non-smoking, and the ticket smoking. That's just some good clean comedy in the whole movie. I was like, that's funny stuff right there. The ticket smoking. That's not what they meant.
I totally agree. That was so. It's stuff like that is so simple, but like
So simple. There's a
It'll
bunch
get
of
you. It'll get you.
It's funny
this
as
whole
shit.
movie, like the Spanish translations on the signs are freaking.
Oh my god, yeah.
I wrote down the no smoking. El Noah you smoko.
Did you get wasn't the one going sit dona at the very end?
Put on the seatbelts.
See, and I forgot I wrote the note down. I was like, the racism that's in this movie, I was like, there's no way. I said, it's remarkable. No way this movie gets made.
No way. No way.
Zero chance.
That's why, again, I'm completely shocked. Like, there's nothing. There's no. There probably will be now that we're talking about it. Somebody's listening and they'll be outraged. We'll have the one view of the most outraged person in the world. We'll start a whole revolution.
Yeah, she'll have like teal eyeshadow.
I love it. I love that you went right to she.
Yes, I agree. Totally agree.
Oh, it's gonna be a white woman whose life has been so difficult.
Oh my god. She'll probably have. That's true.
Man.
That's so true.
The white woman who's
How was your day, honey? I watched this show. I'm gonna. How about this? You guys got anything light to read?
Oh, I have that too.
Famous Jewish sports
Famous
stuff.
Jewish sports legend.
Here's a leaflet.
Done.
It's got a giant magazine.
It's two-sided. It's just one.
Is there like 3 or 4 names on it? Oh my god.
It's just Sandy Koufax 10 times. In different months. Speaking of, because they just this is just on topic, but can air is real. Please leave the room.
Got that one too. That's funny. Again, never happened. But so when I saw it, that was one of them. I mean, several times in the movie, I was like, "No, never gonna happen now." But when I saw that, I was like, "No."
The lead character is telling the whole story about how they met, and he goes to like 3 different seats, and every person he sits next to kills him, tries to.
Dumb.
That's funny. I sat next to that guy once on an airplane.
Me too.
So
The person
bad.
who just wants to have a conversation. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, so you've never done this before in your life, huh?
Hi, my name is John. You know who listens to me? Nobody. So here we go.
That should be a part of the flight attendant's little ritual, right? Like, they put on the life vest, they do the exit door, and then they're like, if you don't know the person sitting next to you, please do not engage in conversation.
Just don't.
Also, your seat's a flotation device.
Don't talk to the person next to you
man.
or think that they're going to help you in case. Also, seats of
I think we should also start doing a better screening of the people who sit by the exit doors. I don't know if just asking somebody is the right way to go about that.
No.
Right?
What should be is no one sits there.
Because I sit by there and I understand they say what my duties are. Half the time I'm not listening, the other half the time I'm just like, okay.
No
I can
chance.
do it.
We'd still be
Yeah.
going down and be like, now? I don't know. I wasn't paying attention fully. I was listening to a podcast. I don't know, man.
I will say, because now you can pick your seats. I never pick the seat there because I don't even want to have the conversation. I don't, because if they ask me, I'd be like, well, I mean, how much time do you have? Because I mean, we can get into it. I would say yes, maybe.
Yeah, of course.
Probably no.
Make things difficult.
Do you have a job description so I can see my responsibilities?
What? Should I go clock in?
Yeah. Is my seat cheaper? Do I get?
Is there a little name tag for me back there? You ever scope out the people who say yes, and you look at them and just like back there, like, no chance.
That's what I'm saying.
Zero faith you would pull it together.
Right.
That's so true.
It's like, yeah, this guy got the curly head with like the one headphone. He's just like kind of looking up, like, yeah, all right, can I leave now?
That's good.
This is the guy.
And you know, like, even if it was like an emergency landing that went well, he would be freaking out and wouldn't be able to do anything.
Oh,
You'd
no.
be like, well, I'm gonna probably have to do his job.
Absolutely.
Even though I'm 8 rows behind him.
It's like every interview I've ever given during the busy season. What's your name? John? You're hired. Done. Come on in.
Do you think you'll be alive next week? Okay.
You start then. We'll see you Tuesday. The one guy with the headphone.
Everyone knows that guy in the airport.
This face, Taylor, this face was perfect. I got it.
That was
No problem.
And honestly,
Didn't even hit
is that
pause.
every flight? Do they have like, is it like a Teamsters union where like one guys ask me on every, like I've seen him every time. Taylor's right. Like there's always like the guy who's just like, I've been flying my whole life. I know every pilot in the world.
Yeah. These are my favorite sweatpants. Yeah, I know. I got a fun fact. Chevy Chase was actually mistakenly announced in The Hollywood Reporter as the lead character for this movie.
What?
Yeah. As opposed to the dude who actually got it, who is a pilot, by the way. Separate fun fact.
What?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. In 1979, I guess, the Hollywood Reporter came out and they said that Chevy Chase was billed as the lead role in this movie. And the guys were like, no, he's not. No, it's not right. Letterman actually tried out for the spot, David Letterman. And Sigourney Weaver actually auditioned for the lead lady character.
That's. By the way, I love Sigourney Weaver.
Me too.
She was.
Miss Bay. No, there is too much. Let me sum up.
1980s cult classic? Classic? 40-year anniversary? Classic?
I think all of those apply.
Yeah, I think
Is it a
40-year
classic?
anniversary is probably the easiest one to go with.
What?
Is it a classic?
I would say.
I think so, yeah.
You think so?
You-
Isn't a classic
40th anniversary unless it's a classic.
isn't a classic something to be watched by multiple generations forever and ever and ever? Like Big is going to be a classic because you can watch that forever and ever and ever.
Well,
Goonies. Airplane?
I think
No.
so. I mean, look, Taylor watched it. Not because of this.
No,
but
I understand. I understand what you're saying.
I mean,
I'll give it a firm 3. I think it's just where it belongs. Look, there's a ton of laugh out loud moments for me. I think it has transcended generations already. So I don't know how much further of a push it's going to make with the content it has in there. So maybe this is the end, the end all be all for it. It could very well be with how things are trending. I don't know how much longer these jokes fly. But I'm a big comedy person. I love being able to joke about stuff and not have it taken too seriously. And I think this, at the end of the day, is what this movie is. It's jokes. It's they're funny jokes. I laughed the whole time. There's a little bit of a story there. For me, a firm 3 all day long.
All right, here we go. I'm going to give it a strong 2.
Okay.
I love the slapstick humor. I like the jokes. I think some of them are very, as I said before, like kind of low-hanging fruit, just easy jokes. But it's a fun movie. It's cool. I think it's pretty amazing to watch this now from when it was made. To understand, like we talked about, there's no way this movie's made right now.
Sure.
It's unbelievable. But there's a lot of good lines in here that are still repeatable. The whole surely you can't be serious. I am serious.
Right.
That's a classic line.
It is.
It's still saying that to this day. Like randomly, I'll just say something and somebody will say that line. And they're like, oh, that's funny, but I don't have time for that right now. But,
also, I didn't say surely.
Yeah.
So I know where you're
there's a lot of that in there, and it's a really easy hour and whatever it is, 20 minutes, and just fun and good. I mean, for 40 years old, it aged pretty well. It's not bad. Definitely a firm, strong 2.
So, based off both of your points that you made during your ratings, I give it a 4.
Whoa.
It is. Yeah, it's a.
I was right there, by the way.
Okay.
I know you were. And honestly, I get your rating. I do, but everything you said, it's a 4 because, I mean, one, it's just a funny movie, and again, we talked about how we rate whatever. I watched it. I liked it. It's 4 for me, and the fact that it still exists and it still is funny to me, even though I'm sure I missed so many things that at the time, like Mom and Dad when they saw it, which by the way is one of the first movies they saw together. Like
it was the first movie they saw together.
There you go. Which is, I mean, just makes me feel old.
I remember telling Mom, by the way, real quick sidebar, I told Mom, or she already knew we were watching it, and I said it, and Mom was like, yeah, it's funny. And I instantly was like, you don't have to think it's funny.
It's funny. It does what you want to, like I said in my initial thoughts. It's just one gag to the next, and I like movies like that. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to, I'll say, care about it. Like, you can just watch it and laugh, and like Taylor said, like, yeah, like I went to get a beer or a drink or the bathroom, and you come back and like something else ridiculous happened.
You're not going to miss a plot point.
Exactly. And exactly. Almost unheard of now. Like, you can't. I mean, what? How many movies are like that now? Like, I don't know.
Not allowed.
And the fact that it came out in '80 and it's still relevant now, 40 years later, that is something. I thought it came out in the '70s. The fact that it, again, 80s, whatever, it's like right on the cusp. But I was shocked that it was '80s.
It's just it seems way too long ago.
Taylor's dog is dying.
He'll be fine.
But honestly, no, I think that's fair. I didn't think it came out '80.
PJ, when was the first time you saw this movie? Like, even heard about it?
See, I want to say late to mid '90s was the first time I saw it, and it was probably the only time I saw it all the way through. Like you said at the beginning was, this is a stumble upon movie, see a few scenes, you're done. But you also know everything because it's been just talked about or brought up in so many different films, movies, TV shows, whatever. Like, it exists. Like, everyone knows about it. So I'd say mid to late '90s, but until I watch it now, straight through, first time.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.